That's farmer, friend, singer-songwriter Lyal Strickland.
And that's farmer, friend, and jack of all trades Chris Horn.
And we're those Tastebud guys.
You don't come up to the Farmhouse and we go get home. What is this? Seems rude. Seems a bit rude. Oh, pop. Not really going to do a lot of pomp and circumstance with this one. Not that it doesn't deserve it, but it's just that we don't feel like most people's probably had any problem finding this one, and probably everybody's had this. And today we got Wild Turkey 101. It is a Kentucky straight bourbon.
Now, here's my question is, what do you think most people's experience with this is?
Well, if you're anything like me, when you was in high school and you had that bottle rolling around the seat of your truck or whatever, and you went to party and you drank it, and the next morning you puked your guts up.
So, I think I mostly run into this with situations where, you know, it's a contest of who's the most manliness.
Who's got the biggest wiener?
Yeah. And let's take shots of 101. And you know, here's the kicker. No, it's not good. Like, just don't take a shot of it. It's not good.
Here's the real kicker about it. It's not very expensive.
Yeah.
It's too good to be shooting.
I have gone to this.
This is not a shit show bourbon. This is a good bourbon.
We go to this actually fairly often as a daily drinker, right?
At least this much.
Yeah. All right, talk to me about the nose. Let's get into this.
You know, here's the thing. It's not even what I would consider traditional. I always think, and I still, even right now, this has a Christmassy smell to it to me. It has this nice, spicy, not spicy like hot spicy like spices. This nice candied nose to it.
Okay.
And I always find it to be pleasant.
Like a little bit of cinnamon and
the nutmeg and all this. Right. It just I always find it to be a very pleasant, almost Christmas cookie kind of experience. And it still sits there for me. It's not boomy, it's not alcoholic, even at 101.
I was gonna say that's the kicker for me is the nose is not like crazy punchy in the face. There are some caramel notes on the nose as well as all that Christmas stuff.
And here's the thing. I mean, again, I already knew I was going to like it. We drink it all the time. It was just sheer out of us going through the shelf a while ago going, hey, what episode are we going to shoot? And realized we'd never done that. We picked about 4 bottles we'd never done. So the next few weeks, you may see a lot of regular stuff that people have already done that we didn't. But we're going to.
So I wouldn't call it smooth. I wouldn't call it thick-bodied. Right? But there's something nice and round about the oakiness to it. Like the woodiness is there on the back end. But it's I don't know.
I agree with one of those 3 things. I do find it to be smooth. I do find it to be thick bodied. But I do think it's also got the nice woody spirit. And I think the wood's what comes out of it most with all the spice and stuff.
I guess what I'm thinking is like in terms of like some of the double oak stuff. So the Jim Beam double oak, the Woodford double oak, those have a thicker mouthfeel body to them. They're kind of like big boisterous things. The oak, the woodiness is here on this one. It's a little sharp on the back end.
Okay, now that I agree with. At the end of the day, I think this has got a fair amount of complexity. Man, that's a terrible sentence.
That's hard to get.
Fair amount of complexity to it.
Yeah.
But it does finish with a little bit of a harsh note. But I still disagree on the body, though. To me, this has always come across as a kind of chewy whiskey. It always, to me, has something that's almost a little bit of a component of kind of, oh God, it's there. It's hitting a lot of spots on my mouth at the same time. And again, this is why I go back to drinking. I think these bottles are a little over $25.
That's what I wanted to get to next, is that for the price of the bottle, for the price of the whiskey, it's pretty damn good. Like, you can't match that very often.
I don't know why we haven't done this already, but it just occurred to me, if we can get another bottle, we absolutely need to run this up against the Evan Williams, the Vintage Reserve, that we rave about all the time.
Yeah.
Which is about $35. This is about $10 cheaper. I would contend that this is more than a $25 bottle.
Yeah.
So, but I also say the Evan Williams is more than a $35. But I think, I'm not going to say it's as good, but I think it approaches it.
I think you're hitting on something there, and that it's worth more than they charge for it.
Absolutely.
Especially when you start comparing to a lot of the boutique whiskeys that bank on being boutique, right? That charge more for it because it's not Wild Turkey, it's a special batch that only has X number of bottles that no one cares.
I suspect in a blind taste test this would rank really high for me.
Mm-hmm.
But it hits a lot of notes like I like, which typically the ones that really set one off for me is the downside for you. So it's odd that we would ever agree on one.
Well, this just shows it's a nice balanced whiskey, nice crosshairs on a lot of things. So, all right, anything else to say about this?
Nope, I think this one should be short and sweet. If you guys disagree with us or agree with us, go ahead and put something down in the comments. Let us know what your experiences was and your thoughts. If you've got any horror stories, go ahead and throw them out as well.
I'm going to throw this in because we haven't talked about this in a while. Guys, if you're on Patreon, we would love it if you checked out our Patreon page. We throw another episode out after this where we actually commit to a number.
We talk about this part.
And we rate the bottles.
That's not true. Sort of.
But the other thing we do with that Patreon money is we let our Patreon members decide what we do with it, what we buy with that money. So whether that's a series of cheap bottles and we do another blind taste test, or we save it up and have some stupidly expensive bottle that we have all chipped in for, ourselves included. Yeah. We'd dearly appreciate it if you check out our Patreon. $4 a month means the world to us. Other than that, until next time.
Whether it be the turkey you're trying to call,
the food that you're eating,
clothes you're wearing,
the people you're meeting, grab a buddy and try something new.